The state of North Carolina has thousands of cameras controlled by the Department of Transportation. The cameras provide real-time information of what's happening on the state's roadways.
But CBS 17 learned that the feeds are not recorded. CBS 17's consumer investigator Steve Spracia is along the Beltline in Raleigh getting answers tonight about a plan that would improve the DOT cameras and save that valuable video. Steve.
Well, guys, just like the traffic, which is constantly streaming along this interstate, the data and video from the traffic cams is also constantly streaming. And that is part of the problem. To try and record and then archive all that video is going to take tons and tons of hardware.
So something like right here.
Earlier this week, Alan Buck reached out to CBS 17 saying that a strange liquid spewing from a construction-type truck driving down the Beltline damaged his car. He wanted to see if NCDOT could check its traffic cams to identify the truck. But the NCDOT told me they don't record those feeds. This bill, filed by State Representative Carolyn Logan of Charlotte, would change that, authorizing $1.5 million in recurring funds to provide a way for the NCDOT to record traffic cams. Logan is a retired state trooper who says saving recordings from traffic cams is a safety issue and could also help solve crimes or provide other valuable information. But how do you save that data? Well, use a hard disk like this. But this is way too small to provide the kind of recording capacity which is needed. NCDOT says it has 900 traffic cams around the state, generating hundreds of thousands of hours of data each week. Chuck Stanley, the chief engineer of CBS 17, says saving all that data is no small task once you start adding up the numbers.
Over 900 cameras. That's for a singles day, and then there are 365 days in a year. It would just take a huge building full of servers just to record all that.
Is it feasible to do that?
Well, Amazon and YouTube do it, but I mean, they're massive corporations.
To give you an example of the kind of storage we're talking about, Stanley showed us what would be needed to keep all that video.
You'd have to reproduce this over 100 times over.
Which would require a very large room.
Probably a warehouse.
There's no provision in the bill mandating how long that traffic camera data should be stored. A day, a week, a year, indefinitely? And should the state build its own archival system, or should it contract with a private company to do that? All those questions will have to be answered if the bill is passed.
Right now, that bill is in committee. Representative Logan's office tells me that she hopes it's going to be reported out. She also says that $1.5 million is just enough money to get the recording ball rolling, if you will. We asked the NCDOT what it thinks about it. It says it's keeping an eye on the bill as it works its way through the legislative process. Getting answers for you, I'm consumer investigator Steve Spracia.